And a very pleasant good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to the first edition of Henley Baseball here in 2025, live from Kiger Stadium. My name is Josh Eldridge as the Skyline Conference season opens today for Henley against the crosstown rival Klamath Union Pelicans. Coming into today's game, Klamath Union with a 4-2 record and a really outstanding performance at the White Buffalo Classic in Madras at the preseason. Henley 2-2-1 to start the year after, all things considered, a pretty strong performance on the coast at the Newport tournament as well. We'll talk about the seasons that each of these two teams have put together so far. We'll also introduce you to the Kyle's Lawn Care starting lineups as we continue your coverage today from Klamath Falls. It's at Kiger Stadium, and it's Henley Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account to retirement planning and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
MyBasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Well, let's go ahead and introduce you to the Kyle's Lawn Care starting lineups. It's Skyline Conference opening day here at Kiger Stadium. We'll start with the visitors today, and that would be the Henley Hornets. Leading off and at shortstop is Connor Shively. Mark Carpenter, the third baseman, bats second. Jacoby Takini is catching and hitting third. Bo Pyle is on the hill for Henley today. He is batting cleanup. Corbin Hamilton is in left field. He's batting fifth, followed by Ian Meyer, the first baseman, hitting sixth. Carson Pimley is in right field batting seventh. Carson Sims batting eighth at second base. Ryan Douglas rounds out the Henley order, batting ninth and in center field. And now we'll flip the card over and introduce you to the starting nine for the Klamath Union Pelicans. Leading off for them at second base is Tilden Kaufman. Nolan Baker bats second in left field. P.J. Safford at shortstop is hitting third for Klamath Union, batting cleanup. The center fielder, Ryan Glidden. Merrick Morris is pitching, and he is batting fifth for Klamath Union, followed by the third baseman, Reese Johnson, hitting sixth. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, Griffin Johnson, followed by the right fielder, Donovan Jones, hitting eighth. And Luis Meza Bravo is catching, rounding out the order for Klamath Union. Going to step aside briefly, and when we come back, it is time for first pitch here at Kiger Stadium on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account to retirement planning and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Just moments away from the start of the Skyline Conference 2025 season. Josh Eldridge here, glad to be with you from historic Kiger Stadium near the Klamath County Fairgrounds. Today it's a beautiful day for baseball. Wouldn't have said that on Tuesday when this game was scheduled to be played. We had snow on the ground Tuesday morning, but now looking at the weather today in Klamath Falls, still cold, 46 degrees as we near first pitch, and partly cloudy here in the basin, but great visibility and a nice day for springtime baseball here in the basin. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting pitcher for Klamath Union, and that is Merrick Morris, the freshman, getting his second start of the season. This is his third appearance overall this year. Pitched 10 2/3 innings, 1 win, 1 loss on the year, and an ERA of 5.9. Although a small sample size, he's given up 9 earned runs in his 10 2/3 innings. And again, he's going up against a Henley lineup. The top 3 guys in the order: Connor Shively, Mark Carpenter, and Jacoby Tacchini. And Klamath Union today in their white home uniforms with red numbering and a red P on the front for Pelicans with the red cap and the white text across it. For Henley, in their road navy blue uniforms, Henley written across their chest in yellow trim with navy blue letters and white numbers across their back. The gray pants for the Hornets today. Of course, they are on the road. Game 1 of 4 between Henley and Klamath Union this year. We'll take a deeper look at the schedule later on as we now take a look at Connor Shively, left-handed leadoff hitter for the Henley Hornets. Shively this season batting .316 through the first 5 games of the year. First pitch is down and in, and about 2 minutes ahead of schedule, 4:58 with first pitch scheduled at 5 o'clock. Thank you for joining us today, and hopefully for the rest of the Skyline Conference schedule and beyond for Henley baseball. The 1-0 pitch is going to miss outside, so a 2-0 count to the leadoff hitter Shively. Getting the start at shortstop today, but was an all-state catcher a season ago. Henley, though, gaining some depth at that position, and Shively, such a versatile player, and he's able to move over to the shortstop position. We'll see him in the field later on as he takes the 2-0 pitch, a line drive to shortstop, gets past the diving glove of P.J. Safford and into left field, and a leadoff single for the Hornets has them in business to start this ball game. Shively really got a hold of that one. One-hopped Safford out there at short to the defensive lineup here for Klamath Union in just a moment after we take a look at Mark Carpenter, third baseman for Henley and batting second here with a runner on first base. Still nobody out in the top of the first inning. Carpenter, the reigning 4A player of the year, as Shively's on the move to second. The pitch, an inside strike call, but no throw down to second. Shively is in there. Now, a runner in scoring position, or one of the more dangerous hitters in the Henley order, tied for first in RBI this year, is Carpenter through the first 5 games, and a .421 batting average. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Looks a bit elevated, evens the count at 1. What a year it was last year for the 4A Player of the Year. Of course, the individual accolades, but also Henley making a state semifinal last year. As Carpenter fights off the 1-1 pitch, foul behind first, 1-2. Talked about Merrick Morris, the freshman for Klamath Union, on the mound. His catcher is Mesa Bravo. At third base, it's Reese Johnson, P.J. Safford at short, Tilden Kaufman at second, Ferns at first, Nolan Baker in left, Ryan Glidden in center, and Jones in right for Klamath Union. Carpenter gets around on that one, sends it down the left field line. It's going to one-hop the wall. That'll score Shively with ease, and Carpenter will wind up at second with a standing RBI double, and Henley strikes first in this one, now leading 1-0. Carpenter really got out in front of that pitch and pulled it down the line. Able to get that RBI and give his team a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first inning. That brings up Jacoby Tacchini, freshman for Henley, although no stranger to this level of baseball. Between the 8th grade and freshman year that summer, Jacoby Tacchini played with the Klamath Falls Falcons, was the youngest player on that team. A fairly considerable margin. Was the youngest player in the league as well, was the young Tacchini, but grew a lot as a player, and now in his freshman year, getting an opportunity on the varsity team for the Henley Hornets. As Morris comes set with the 1-0, an off-speed pitch is fouled off. Evens the count at 1-1 to Tacchini. Still in the top of the first, nobody out. The runner at second is Mark Carpenter. Jacoby Tacchini batting .368 to start the year for the Hornets. Bouncing ball out towards short. Safford charging it. Throw across the diamond is in time, but Carpenter advancing to third. But the first out recorded in the first inning will bring up Bo Pyle. Pyle, of course, the starting pitcher today for Henley, but getting his first plate appearance here. Pyle batting .250 to start the year, although he's only played in one game offensively. Fouls it down the third base line, rolled back fair, and then back foul. Sort of bounced around between the cut of the grass, dribbling down the third base line, but just a foul ball and an 0-1 count to Bo Pyle. The senior for Henley steps back in. A little bit ahead in the right-handed batter's box in a wide batting stance as Morris comes set with the 0-1 right across the plate. Now make it 0-2 to Pyle. Heavy shift in the Klamath Union infield. Kaufman, the second baseman, playing on the left side of second base. 3 men on that side of the infield as Pyle takes an elevated fastball for ball 1. Ball and 2 strikes now. The count still 1 away in the top of the first inning. Set is Morris with the 2-2, trying to find a pitch to put away Pyle. This one high and in. Pyle has to duck out of the way, and the count runs full. Again, runner on third base for Henley is Carpenter. Reached second after an RBI double and advanced to third on the ground out from Tacchini in the previous at-bat. Now here's the full count pitch to Pyle. Ground ball to third, mishandled by Johnson, and no throw to first. And that will bring home Carpenter on what is likely an error at third by Johnson. Credit Pyle with the RBI, though, as he reaches first, and Henley now leads 2-0. It was a hard-hit ground ball to Johnson. He tried to backhand it, but just popped out of the webbing of his glove, and after he recollected, decided not to make the throw to first. And that brings up Corbin Hamilton, multi-sport athlete for Henley, coming off the basketball season. I think after the end of basketball season, Corbin was probably looking forward to taking the diamond this year as he lifts one into right field, shallow. Could be trouble a little bit for Jones. Has to come in quite a ways to make the catch, but he does for the second out in the inning. This will bring up Ian Meyer, guy who I really enjoyed watching over the course of last season. You know, for Meyer, he's a junior, didn't get a ton of playing time as a sophomore, but it felt like whenever he was on the field, Meyer was coming up big for his team. And now getting the start here in the Skyline Conference season opener. Takes a pitch inside as Pyle breaks for second and gets in there without a throw. Mesa Bravo bobbled at the catcher on the transfer, trying to make the throw down. So a 1-0 count, and now a runner in scoring position for Henley, and Meyer still at the plate. Here's a pitch. Low and away in the dirt. Ball 2. Meyer this season off to a modest start, batting .263 to start the year, although tied for the team lead in RBI with 5 this season. Pardon me, tied for second on the team in RBI with 5. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Meyer. Off-speed pitch lifted high into shallow center field, right behind second base. Charging is Glidden, comes in and makes the catch to end the inning. But 2 runs come across for Henley on 2 base hits. They leave one run stranded, and 1 Klamath Union error sends us to the bottom of the first with a 2-0 score in favor of the Hornets. Back after this on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
The pace and reach of social media,
The information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
mybasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Getting ready for the bottom of the first inning here at Kiger Stadium, and the Henley Hornets lead the Klamath Union Pelicans 2-0. Getting the start on the mound for Henley today is Bo Pyle. The senior has one other start this season. He worked 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, walked 4, struck out 2, and has a 2.8 ERA after his lone other start this season. But getting the nod today against the Klamath Union Pelicans. Top 3 in their order: the second baseman Tilden Kaufman, the left fielder Nolan Baker, and the shortstop P.J. Safford. One thing you know about Bo on the mound, he's going to throw strikes. He might get hit a little bit. He wears his emotions on his sleeve, but he will throw strikes. Doesn't walk a ton of guys out there, and throws well from the windup. So it's going to be key for Klamath Union to try to get on base early and make Pyle feel him out a little bit. You know, going back to the last few seasons, this hasn't particularly been a close crosstown rivalry. In fact, Klamath Union has not beaten Henley since 2017. But this year, the Pelicans, well, they've got a little bit of swagger about them, and, well, now they get to swing the sticks against Henley for the first time this year. Stepping in is Tilden Kaufman. Right-hander close to the plate. Here's the first pitch from Pyle, and a fastball down the heart of the plate. Gives it an 0-1 count and a swing and a miss from Kaufman. Tilden Kaufman batting .318 to start the year, pacing the Pelicans in RBI to start the season. As a matter of fact, we had Tilden on our local sports talk show earlier in the week, Ballin' in the Base, and actually last night Tilden stopped by the studio. Shared some insight into the Pelicans team as he takes a strike on the outer third. The count now a ball and 2 strikes to the second baseman. But also talked about his approach early on in at-bats. He wanted to swing early. He swung at the first pitch in this at-bat, and he takes ball 2 there outside. The count is even. Kaufman with 2 home runs in a game earlier this year at the White Buffalo Classic. There he takes a fastball low and runs the count full. A 3-run home run and a grand slam in the same inning. There's big leaguers who can't say they've ever done that. Here's the full count pitch to Kaufman. That one comes in, almost hit him. And a leadoff base runner there for Klamath Union. And there, Pyle proving my theory a bit wrong there, issuing a leadoff walk. And this brings up Nolan Baker. Baker this season for the Pelicans, off to a little bit of a slow start through the first 6 games, batting .188, but does have 2 doubles. 2 of his 3 hits have gone for extra bases to start the year as Pyle makes a move over to first. Diving back safely is Kaufman. Klamath Union head baseball coach Michael Overstreet issuing the signs to first base. Time is called, I think. Make sure Kaufman's equipment is all set, but should be ready to go to the first pitch home to Nolan Baker. Right-handed batting sophomore for KU. Shows bunt, pulls back, but a called strike anyway. It's 0-1. Talked about Pyle on the mound for Henley. The other half of the Hornets battery is Jacoby Tacchini behind the dish. We'll introduce you to the rest of the defense after this 0-1 pitch from Pyle. Showing bunt again was Baker. Chased that one out of the zone and an 0-2 count now. At third is Mark Carpenter for Henley. Connor Shively plays short. Carson Sims is at second with Ian Meyer at first. The outfield from left to right, Corbin Hamilton, Ryan Douglas, and Carson Pimley. The 0-2 home from Pyle swung on and missed, and Baker goes down on strikes for the first out in the bottom of the first inning. Let's bring up P.J. Safford for Klamath Union. Safford leading the team in hitting through the first 6 games with a .333 batting average. He gets on base as well, second on the team in on-base percentage at .545. Move over to first. Kaufman back safely. They're worried about him a bit out there. Say for good reason. Kaufman, second on the team in stolen bases, has yet to be caught this season in 3 attempts. 2 doubles on the season for P.J. Safford as he takes ball 1 low, evens the count at 1. Had a good season at the plate so far, has also thrown the ball well for KU in a couple of pitching appearances. In fact, 3 starts for KU. And although he's starting at short here, has an ERA of 3.21 on the mound. Hopefully we get to see him later on in the season when these two teams meet 3 more times this year. As Safford takes a pitch over the plate for strike 2. The count is 1-2. And Pyle looks in, gathers the sign from Tacchini, and comes set. Another move over to first. Got Kaufman leaning, but he's back safely. Almost trouble there at first. Kaufman was in the middle of his secondary lead when he had to dive back, but he was able to make it back. And now back in a 1-2 count, and 1 out with a runner on first. Pyle motions home. The pitch high and in, ball 2. Safford has good plate discipline, tied for the team lead in walks as well. 6 through the first 6 games. Here's the 2-2. Bouncing ball to first. Backhanding it is Meyer. Goes to second for 1. The back end of the double play is late. Safford beats it out on the throw from Connor Shively. And so a fielder's choice puts Safford on first. Kaufman is out trying to advance to second. And here's Ryan Glidden. Glidden this season batting .214 to start the year, with 6 RBI and a home run this season. Bats with a runner on first. It's P.J. Safford. Modest lead off of first. As Pyle comes set. Here's the first pitch home. Taken down the middle for strike 1. Glidden stepping back in. The pitch is taken. Must have been a little bit high. I think maybe a touch outside as well. Ball and a strike to Glidden. On deck, Maruk Morris. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Pyle with the off-speed pitch that time. Had Glidden a little bit out in front. A ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Pyle. The 1-2 misses in. Might have been a 2-seamer from Pyle. Looked to have a little bit of running action back towards the right-handed hitter. Regardless, a 2-2 count now to Glidden. One of the veteran leaders on this KU team for sure. The lone senior on the roster is Glidden. Here's the 2-2 home. It's taken outside for strike 3, and Pyle leaves one stranded at first. No hits for KU in the inning, no runs, and no Henley errors. We go to the top of the second inning with Henley in front, 2-0. Back after this on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
It starts to warm up outside. It's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Kyle's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
I want to welcome you back to Henley Baseball. This top of the second inning brought to you by Pacific Power. The Pacific Power Foundation donated nearly $70,000 in 2024 to organizations like Klamath Advocacy Center, Lake County 4-H Association, and the Rotary Club of Lakeview, Oregon Foundation. Thanks to Pacific Power for coming on board for this Henley baseball season. They lead 2-0. As we go to the top of the second inning, it's the bottom third of the Henley order. Carson Pimley, Carson Sims, and Ryan Douglas. The first pitch is taken outside, and a 1-0 count to Pimley. Pimley, a junior this season, and another one of the guys who is trying to step up this year after Henley losing a big graduating class a season ago. We talked about Henley, making the state semifinal a season ago, a game in which they would lose to Marist in a really exciting baseball game, although for Hornets fans didn't end the way that you'd like it to. But last year, a 28-2 record for Henley, but guys like Luke Austin, Aiden Hayes, Lane Frank, Owen Harper, guys who are no longer with the program were instrumental to getting them there a season ago. But look at guys like Carson Pimley, who are ready to try to step up and fill some of those shoes. It's now a 2-2 count to Pimley. He swung and missed at the 2-1 pitch. And this a hard grounder to third. Johnson comes up with it. Strong throw to first is going to take Ferns off the bag. And safe at first is Carson Pimley. Throw was just a little bit to the left of the bag, and Ferns making a stretch. His foot popped off the base before he could make the play, and so should be an error, and Pimley reaching first. Second error for Johnson today, and a runner aboard at first, nobody out. And now Carson Sims batting here for Henley, another guy who's looking to make a name for himself for Henley. Sims, a sophomore, as he takes strike one on the outside. Sims, not a ton of playing time for Henley last year, but a full summer with the Klamath Falls Falcons saw his role improve over the course of the summer. And another one of those guys who grew a lot for Henley last year. That one's up and in. Sims showing bunt. I think that one caught him on the hand. And he is awarded first, and advancing to second after the hit by pitch is Carson Pimley. So 2 runners on and nobody out. It's going to get Josh Overstreet out of the dugout for KU as he looks to have a conversation with his pitcher and the rest of the infield. And while he does, we'll remind you that today's game on mybasin.com is brought to you by Gino's Cafe on East Main Street. They're open every morning at 6:30, serving their famous breakfast burritos. Those are served all day long. along with other menu items like burgers, monthly specials, and Italian favorites. You can order online at ilovegenos.com, or you can check them out on DoorDash. Still having a conversation, Mr. Josh Overstreet, an assistant here on the KU baseball team, but the head Klamath Union football coach. He just wrapped up his first season with the Pels, and I know they're excited about getting back at it. You know, they talk a little bit about this Klamath Union baseball team. It's hard not to talk about the rest of the athletic programs at KU, which are in the middle of something of a renaissance. It feels like they're building towards something big at KU. And again, not just the baseball team, but all of the athletic programs at KU. Showing bunt and laying it down is Douglas, right out to the pitcher. They try to go to third to get the lead runner, and they do. And so Pimley is out at third. On safely at first is Douglas on the fielder's choice. Sims advancing to second, and one out in the inning. Turns the lineup over for Henley and Connor Shively. Shively singled and came around to score in his first at-bat. Again, 2 runners on here, and the corner's in for the Pelicans. First pitch from Morris. Shively takes it outside, 1-0. Going back to Klamath Union again, and what feels like a resurgence for their programs. I think, in my opinion, it somewhat started with the hiring of Michael Overstreet a few years ago for KU. In his 6th year now as the head coach at Klamath Union, in a previous administration, the athletic director's department had hired him, but now with Tyler Baker at the charge at Klamath Union High School, the Pelicans are in good hands. And again, I think Michael Overstreet has had a bigger hand in it than he would admit with the resurgence of everything going on at KU. As a 2-1 count. It's now to Connor Shively. The left-handed batter steps back in. Pitch misses outside, now 3-1. On deck after Shively is Mark Carpenter, a guy you would not want to face with the bases loaded. It's important for Morris that he tries to find the zone here. You come in the zone against Connor Shively. He's a dangerous man and a good hitter's count. Here's the 3-1 for Morris. It's going to be fouled off. Morris challenging Shively inside on that pitch after going outside on the 3 previous pitches. Good selection there by Morris, and the count runs full. Here's the full count pitch. Shively fouls it straight back. And so we'll do it again. 3-2 with Sims at second, Douglas on first, and one away in the top of the second. A game that Henley leads 2-0 in the Skyline Conference season opener. That pitch misses high and away. The full count issues a walk to Connor Shively. And here's Mark Carpenter with the bases loaded. Said Carpenter's not a guy you like to face with the bases loaded. As a matter of fact, has already left an impact on the game today with an RBI double in the first inning, and then he would come around to score himself on an error later on in the first. Carpenter, wide batting stance, awaits the first pitch, and he takes the inside fastball, 1-0. Carpenter now with 4 extra base hits on the season. He takes strike 1. Big lead off of first for Shively with no one holding him. Carpenter hits one sharply down the third base line, fielded by Johnson. He'll take it to the third base bag for 1, but in the process, Carson Sims scores from third. And so now there's 2 away as Henley scores their 3rd run of the ball game. Runners at first and second. It's Shively at second, Carpenter at first. and Jacoby Takini at the plate. Takini in his first at-bat grounded out to short. He fouls off the first pitch here, 0-1. The 0-1 on the way to Takini. Both runners on the move, and Takini hits a line drive into left field. They're waving around Shively to score. It's bobbled in left. They're trying to score Carpenter. The throw to the infield is wild, and now advancing to second is Jacoby Takini. And Henley scores 2, making it 5-0. So it's going to be a single for Jacoby Takini, then an error in left field is going to allow the second run to score, and so a 5-0 lead for Henley here in the top of the second inning. And a runner at second base is Jacoby Takini. Looks like we've got a runner out there for Henley as well. I believe that's Porter Frost out there running for the catcher Takini. Got the courtesy runner in for him. There is the first pitch right over the heart of the plate to Bo Pyle, 0-1. Beautifully executed hit and run in the previous at-bat for Jacoby Takini. Both runners on the move and both of them scoring. This time the 0-1 pitch lifted into left center field. Ryan Glidden makes the catch in the gap to end the inning, but not before Henley plates 3 runs on 1 hit, 2 Klamath Union errors, and 1 runner left for the Hornets. We go to the bottom of the second with a 5-0 Henley lead on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
It's the bottom of the second inning here at Kiger Stadium in Klamath Falls, just next to the Klamath County Fairgrounds. Glad to be here with you today. Josh Eldridge along with you, not only today, but for the rest of the season for Henley baseball. After their game concludes today against Klamath Union, the Hornets have games tomorrow and Saturday up at North Marion. They'll play the Dow's, then they'll play North Marion on Saturday. Our next broadcast after today will be when Henley visits Mazama on Tuesday the 8th. We are just covering the conference games. There's a couple non-conference games in May that we'll pick up as well. And then, of course, should Henley make the playoffs, we'll be with you then, too. Maruk Morris steps in, the right-handed batter for KU, and freshman takes strike 1 on the outer third from Bo Pyle. Again, Henley leads 5-0 here in the bottom of the second. This time the pitch taken away. And here's one thing I've always liked about Bo Pyle, and he's showing it to us right now. It's the pace in which he works on the mound. Guy who really works quickly out there. Here's the 2-1. That pitch misses in, 3-1. And every pitcher has their own rhythm. There are some guys who like to take their time, throw slowly, feel the process out there. That's not Bo Pyle. He's going to get out there, he's going to catch the ball, and he's ready to throw it as the 3-1 is fouled off behind first. And a 3-2 count now to Maruk Morris. Morris, the starting pitcher today for KU. Trying to help himself out here. Dribbles one out towards third. Carpenter charging. Strong throw across the diamond in time. And a nice play by Carpenter to record the first out in the second inning. And this will bring up Reese Johnson for Klamath Union, the third baseman and sophomore for the Pelicans. Johnson this year batting .222, and he takes ball one. And we welcome you back. Is in the bottom of the second inning. Again, a 5-0 Henley lead and a 2-2 count to Johnson at the plate. Johnson, again, batting .222 this year. 2 of his 4 base hits have gone for extra bases. Here he swings through the off-speed pitch, and Johnson down on strikes for the second out, and the third strikeout of the day for Bo Pyle, and it'll bring up Griffin Johnson. Johnson, the designated hitter, batting .222 to start the year for Klamath Union. Johnson only 2 base hits on the year, but he has worked 6 walks as he swings through strike one. Junior right-handed bat for KU, faces the 0-1, takes it, and it was a pitch elevated down the middle of the plate, a fastball from Pyle called strike 2. And again, Bo working quickly. Here's the 0-2, and that elevated fastball swung on and missed by Johnson. And the Pelicans go down in order in the second. To the top of the third we go with Henley in front 5-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Josh Eldridge back with you for Henley Baseball. In the top of the third inning, Henley leads 5-0 over Klamath Union. Not the only action today for Henley High School. Softball team in action today at Steen Sports Park, also taking on Klamath Union. A score update there sees Henley leading the Pelicans 7-0. And as Corbin Hamilton steps in, he swings at the first pitch, bouncing ball to third. Ranging over is Johnson, throws on to first in time, 1 pitch and 1 out in the third inning. This will bring up Ian Meyer. Want to give you a couple of other score updates from Klamath Basin teams playing today. In the 2A, 1A class, the Bonanza Antlers playing Glendale today. Right now, Bonanza trailing the Pirates 7-4. And also in the 1A, 2A class, Cross Point Christian in their inaugural season. Right now tied with Riddle 4-4 in their league opener. The 0-0 pitch to Ian Meyer swung on and missed to make it an 0-1 count. Meyer flew out to center field to end the first inning in his first at-bat. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Taken outside for a strike. Meyer didn't seem to like that call very much, but has to step back in now on an 0-2 count. Set is Morris, and the pitch is one hop out to short. Safford comes up with it. The throw is not going to be in time. In fact, it's going to get by the first baseman, Ferns. Now trying to stretch into second base is Meyer, and he is gunned down with lots of time. So Klamath Union able to get a break there as Meyer going to second in a play where it probably should have stayed at first. But the play wouldn't have happened without Safford making a nice play out by the second base bag. The shortstop going over to his left, winds up in the dirt, comes up with the ball, makes the throw, just wasn't in time. Eventually, Klamath Union, after the base hit, able to get Meyer on the back end as Carson Pimley steps in. Pimley is out in front of that pitch, fouls it off. Pimley reached on an error in the second inning and then was out on the base paths trying to advance to third. And a 1-1 count now is Pimley. Morris delivers, line drive into center field. That'll be a base hit with 2 outs for Pimley. And the Hornets with their 5th base hit of the day. This is where that base running for Ian Meyer comes back and haunts you a little bit for Henley. He'd be facing a situation now with 2 runners on and 1 out. Instead, 1 runner on and 2 outs, and here's Carson Sims. On the move is Pimley on the first pitch. The throw down is going to take the second baseman Kaufman off the bag. No real play to be made as Pimley slides in safely to second. Pitch was out of the zone. And a 1-0 count now to Carson Sims. Again, came around to score his last time around the bases. Third baseman Johnson playing in on the cut of the grass in the infield as Sims fouls one off behind first. Now a 1-1 count to Carson. Another one of those guys I mentioned along with Corbett Hamilton, who played basketball for Henley this season. I'm sure after the year that they had on the hardwood that Carson was looking forward to taking the diamond this year. Henley off to a decent start. 2-2-1 to start the year as Sims takes another one, this one behind him. 2-1. And for Henley to start the year, coming off a pair of 1-run losses to close out the Newport tournament. They lost 6-5 to Staten, 10-9 to Newport. But otherwise, an 8-0 win against Gladstone. They tied against Philomath. That's their one tie. And Sims is hit again. Second time he's been plunked, this time on the arm. And he is awarded first, and that brings up Ryan Douglas. Still at second base is Carson Pimley. Douglas reached on a fielder's choice his last time around. This season for Ryan Douglas, batting .231. Here's the pitch home. Takes that one low and away, 1-0. Douglas 3 hits on the season. All of them have been singles. But he's also come around to score each time around the bases. And I believe Morris just got called for a balk on a move over to first. And so that will advance both runners. Pimley to third, Sims to second. And still a 1-0 count to the plate for Ryan Douglas, an RBI opportunity for the Henley center fielder. Douglas 1 RBI coming into this at-bat. But a golden opportunity with 2 outs, trying to extend his team's 5-0 lead here in the top of the third inning. And here's the pitch to Douglas, off speed, taken for a strike. 1-1. Looking in, and Morris gathering the sign from Mesa Bravo. Comes set, kicks, and delivers. Weak ground ball rolling to third. It takes an ugly hop on the cut of the grass on Johnson. That's going to allow Pimley to score. Douglas reaches base on, is that another error? Another error there at third. Took a tough hop there for Johnson. But now runners at the corners, still 2 outs, and the top of the Henley order, it's Connor Shively. A 6-0 lead for Henley. And runners at the corners. Here's Shively. Morris comes set, and the pitch. On the move to second is Douglas, and this one's going to get down for a base hit into left field. That's going to score Sims. In at third is Douglas, and winding up at second with the double is Connor Shively. Now a 7-0 Henley lead, and 2 runners in scoring position for Mark Carpenter. First pitch swinging there for Shively to knock in the RBI. That's his 4th run batted in this year, and they're not going to pitch to Carpenter. They're going to load the bases for Jacoby Tacchini with 2 outs. So, this pays off for him. It doesn't really feel like there is a break in this Henley order. You walk a guy like Carpenter, but well, now you elect to face Jacoby Tacchini. He is 1 for 2 today. He grounded out in the first and singled in the second. Tacchini again batting .368 this season, leads the team in RBI with 9 this year. Here's the pitch to Tacchini. Off-speed pitch, hit on a line into left field, moving over the left fielder, jumping. It's over the head of Baker. That's going to clear the bases, and winding up at second is Jacoby Tacchini. 3-run score, and Henley leads 10-0. First pitch for Tacchini, and Frost is going to come out and run for him again, but there you go. 3 more runs batted in for Jacoby Tacchini. 12 on the season, and his team now leads 10-0. Bo Pyle batting now, the 9th batter this inning for Henley, but Pyle 0 for 2 today. He did reach base on an error in the first, and then he flew out to center in his other at-bat. Here he chases a pitch out of the strike zone for strike 1. Already 5 runs home for Henley this inning, doubling their lead. This pitch winds up behind Pyle, and Frost, he's going to stay put at second. Mesa Bravo corralled that one on a tough pitch there for Morris. 1-1. Pitch to Pyle. That one misses wide. 2-1. On deck for Henley, the man who started this inning would be Corbin Hamilton. What's interesting about this inning, all these 5 runs have come with 2 outs for Henley. Pimley singled with 2 outs. Carson Sims was hit by a pitch, an error. Double walk double has scored 5 runs this inning for Henley as Pyle checks his swing on a pitch that was low. The count now 3-1. With the errors that Klamath Union has committed as well, 4 of those errors. 9 of these 10 runs for Henley have been unearned against Morris. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Pyle. That one will skip to the plate. Now advancing to third on the wild pitch is Frost. Now runners at the corners for Corbin Hamilton. No one up in the bullpen for Klamath Union. And looks like Shiv Patel in to run for the pitcher, Bo Pyle. Runners at the corners for Henley, still 2 away, and here's Corbin Hamilton. Set is Morris, and the pitch. fisted out towards first. That's going to roll into the outfield. A base hit and an RBI for Corbin Hamilton extends this Henley lead now 11-0. Now Ian Meyer to bat. He singled and was thrown out trying to get to second base. A throwing error. And now getting an opportunity with 2 on and 2 out. Hits one in the air in foul territory behind first. Playable, but ultimately will land safely in foul territory. An 0-1 count to Ian Meyer. Henley scored 6 runs so far this inning. Carson Pimley on deck. Top of the third and an 0-1 count to Meyer. Oh, 2 now to Meyer. Here's the pitch. Hit again into foul territory behind first. Staying alive. Still an 0-2 count here to Meyer. Lined up the middle and into center field, another base hit. They're waving Patel around to come and score. Trouble fielding the ball in center is Glidden, and that will allow Hamilton to advance to third. And another run home makes it 12-0 Henley. Runners at the corners for Pimley. Pimley singled and came around to score earlier this inning. And he takes the ball there, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch home. Lifted behind home plate, foul into the parking lot, 1-1. On deck, Carson Sims for Henley. As Pimley awaits the 1-1. Here it comes. Taken outside, 2-1. I believe I did see someone out for KU thrown, but I couldn't quite make it out until they were back in the dugout. But I also could be mistaken. All I saw was guys running back into the dugout. Here's 2-1. Swung on and missed, 2-2 to Carson Pimley. Runner at third is Hamilton. At first, it's Meyer. And here's Pimley in a 2-2 count with 2 outs. The pitch from Morris. Ground ball towards second. Kaufman up with it. Throw on to first in time, and the Pelicans finally stop the bleeding here in the top of the third, but not before Henley scores 7 runs to extend this lead to 12-0. Bottom of the third inning next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Getting ready for the bottom of the third inning from Kiger Stadium. Henley leading Klamath Union 12-0. Bo Pyle, first pitch to Donovan Jones is taken, I believe, for a ball, 1-0. Jones, Mesa Bravo, and Kaufman. That's 8, 9, and 1 in the Pelican order, due up in the bottom of the third. A swinging strike for Jones makes it 1-1. Here's the pitch from Pyle. That one's taken for a strike. Looked about an inch off the inside part of the plate, but a strike called to Jones, 1-2. Delivery from Pyle, looked at for strike 3. Jones goes down. 3 consecutive strikeouts for Pyle dating back to the second inning, and that gives him 5 total, and this brings up Luis Mesa Bravo. Right-handed bat steps in, misses high and away, 1-0. Mesa Bravo this season batting .111 for Klamath Union. His one base hit this year was a double. Here's the 1-1, taken for a strike, 1-2. Lineup turns over. The next batter for Klamath Union, it's Tilden Kaufman, as they got Mesa Bravo looking. An elevated fastball froze him up. 2 strikeouts to start this inning for Bo Pyle. 2 away, and here's Tilden Kaufman. Kaufman walked and was out on a fielder's choice in the first, trying desperately to get something started for KU, who trails this one so far 12-0. Kaufman gets a hold of one, line drive to left field, and Hamilton drops it. Throw in is going to stop Kaufman from getting to second. Playable ball for Hamilton in left, but hit his glove and couldn't come away with it. Stepping in now is Nolan Baker, 0 for 1 today, and he takes a strike there. He struck out back in the first inning, and an 0-1 count to him. Now Kaufman aboard at first, ruled a base hit for Kaufman. So he gets the first knock of the day for KU. So the lineup turns over for the first time. See if the Pelicans can see the ball a little bit better, this time through the order. Swung on and missed. 0-2 the count now to Baker. Takini tries to backdoor Kaufman, but he dives back safely. And we've got a meeting on the mound for Bo Pyle. And I think this might be it for Bo for a pitch count concern. Try to give you the final. You say he's at 45, so there's your limit right there. And we're going to get some changes out there for Henley. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll get everything lined up and get you updated on all the changes that the Hornets are making. Here in the bottom of the third, an 0-2 count with 2 outs. Nolan Baker at the plate. Henley is making a change in a 12-0 ball game. We'll be back in just a minute on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and little league teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
So a couple of changes for the Hornets here in the bottom of the third inning, a game in which they lead 12-0. Hayden Poor, the new right-handed arm out there for Henley. A couple of other changes for him. We'll just reset the whole defense for Henley, give you an idea of where everybody is. Jacoby Takini still behind the dish catching. Mark Carpenter and Connor Shively still on the left side of the infield. Bo Pyle, the pitcher for Henley, now at second base. Corbin Hamilton has come in from left field to now play first. In the outfield, it's Ryan Douglas, Carson Sims, and Shiv Patel from left to right. One pitch, and that'll end the inning as Dolan Baker goes down on strikes. And we go to the top of the fourth as Henley again leads 12-0 here on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
At MyBasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
The pace and reach of social media,
The information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
MyBasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
And we begin the top of the fourth inning through three. Henley leads Klamath Union 12-0. For the Hornets, it's been 12 runs on 9 hits. No errors for Henley. They've left 4 runners on base. For Klamath Union, no runs on 1 hit. They've committed 4 errors. They've left 2 runners on base. Still out there for Klamath Union, Maruk Morris on the mound. He'll go up against Carson Sims, then Ryan Douglas, and Connor Shively in the Henley order. There will be some changes, I believe, in the order for Henley in a moment, but well, it might actually stay the same with how they adjusted everything defensively. They should be able to keep the same batting order. It's the first pitch here in the top of the fourth. Strike 1 to Carson Sims. Here's Morris with the 0-1. Taken high and in for ball 1. Sims has been hit by the pitch in each of his previous 2 at-bats, but he's come around to score both times. Want to give you a score update from Henley softball as well. The Lady Hornets also right now taking care of business against Klamath Union, up 10-0. And it looks like, trying to find out what inning there, and it looks like the top of the 4th inning there at Steens. A 2-1 count to Carson Sims. The right-hander Morris comes set and delivers. Sims fouls one off. Unplayable behind home plate. And that will even the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. A 7-run third inning for Henley has ballooned this lead. Trying to get another rally started here. Sims again takes another one high and in. The count 3-2. Maruk gets the sign in from Mesa Bravo. Comes set. Here's the 3-2. Sims swings through strike 3. And he is down for the first strikeout of the day for Maruk Morris. Brings up Ryan Douglas. Douglas 0 for 2 today. Reached on a fielder's choice in the second, then reached on an error in the third. He would come around to score in the third inning. Here's the pitch. That one misses high and in. Douglas has to duck out of the way, and it's taken for a ball. Corners in for the infield for Klamath Union. Johnson at third, Ferns at first. Here's the pitch from Douglas. Misses in, 2-0. Again, this game originally supposed to be played on Tuesday, and with the snow on the basin, postponed to today, I should say. You couldn't ask for a better day for baseball, at least in April in the Klamath Basin. We started at 46 degrees. It's dipped to 45 now, and a 2-1 count to Ryan Douglas. But puts Hornets now having to play 3 consecutive games. Here's the 2-1 home to Douglas. Misses high and in, 3-1. Again, after today, Henley playing the Dalles and Duffer Co-op. That's being played at North Marion High School tomorrow. And then on Saturday, they are playing the North Marion and Gervais Huskies. That'll be a 1 o'clock first pitch up there before they return to the Klamath Basin on Tuesday to face Mazama over at Mazama High School. The 3-1 pitch is fouled off to make it 3-2. Quite a healthy contingent of what I believe are Henley fans out on the patio down the left field line here at Kiger Stadium enjoying the sunshine. Again, it's a little bit chilly, so that sun's probably the only thing keeping them warm out there. But one of the great things about Kiger Stadium, those patios down either line, you can enjoy the sun in the summertime. Of course, the great wooden grandstand, the last wood stadium in Oregon. So Ryan Douglas rips one deep down the left field line. It's carrying, one hop off the warning track, stays fair. And a standing double for Ryan Douglas. Boy, if that ball was hit in June, we might not get it back. And that was a one outstanding double for Ryan Douglas. Tenth hit of the day for Henley and first for Douglas. Brings up Connor Shively with one away and a runner in scoring position. Shively is 2 for 2 today. But he's come around and scored in each of his 3 plate appearances. He singled and scored in the first, walked and scored in the second, doubled in a run, and would then go on to score in the third. Takes the first pitch, I believe it was away for a ball, 1-0. Morris takes a look at the runner at second, Douglas, before towing the rubber. Now he's there and comes set. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Taken on the outer third. A nice pitch there for Morris. Evens the count at 1. Connor Shively, an all-state athlete last year. The catcher position. Again, playing shortstop this year. As he grounds one towards second. Routine ball for Kaufman, up with it onto first for the second out. As Douglas advances to third on the ground ball, it'll bring up Mark Carpenter. Carpenter has also scored in each of his 3 plate appearances, doubled in a run in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the second, and he walked in the third, an intentional walk issued to Carpenter that he would come around and score on. Here's the first pitch to him now, off speed on the inner third, called for a strike. After Carpenter in the order, it's Jacoby Tacchini for Henley. And the pitch on the way to Carpenter. Here's the 0-1. Carpenter, sharp ground ball to third, under the glove of Johnson and down the left field line. That's going to score Douglas. Carpenter digging for 2, and he's in there standing. Another RBI for Mark, and a 13-0 lead for Henley. That's going to go in the books as another error for Klamath Union, their 5th of the day. And brings up Jacoby Tacchini. So Jacoby Tacchini now with the runner in scoring position. Hits one in the air towards right field. Over a few steps is Jones underneath it to make the catch and end the inning. The Hornets score 1 run in the 4th on 1 base hit. The Pelicans commit 1 error and the Hornets leave 1 stranded. As we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, it's 13-0 Hornets. Back after this on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
It starts to warm up outside, it's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Kyle's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
With you for the bottom of the fourth inning, Henley leads Klamath Union 13-0. So we are just nearly getting started. I want to remind you today's broadcast of Henley Baseball is brought to you by Pacific Power. The Pacific Power Foundation donated nearly $70,000 in 2024 to organizations like the Ross Ragland Theater, Klamath Film, and the Lost River Bluegrass Festival. Big thanks to Pacific Power for coming on board for Henley Baseball this season as well. And so far, the Skyline Conference, at least in Game 1, is business as usual for the Hornets. Haven't lost a game in the Skyline Conference since 2022, and unless Klamath Union can start a miracle comeback, that streak's going to continue for the Hornets. Although the Pelicans have the right guys due up this half inning to try to get the job done against Hayden Poor. It's P.J. Safford, Ryan Glidden, and Maruk Morris. That's 3, 4, 5 in the Pelicans' order. And again, Hayden Poor coming in relief of Bo Pyle. We'll give you his final line in just a moment as the first pitch will roll to the plate to Safford, ahead in the count 1-0. Pyle will exit after 2 2/3 innings. He gave up a hit, walked one, no earned runs come across against him, of course. A line drive to right field, and Patel gets under it and puts Safford away for the first out. Wrapping up the look at Pyle, 6 strikeouts in his 2 2/3 innings of work, and would be on line for a win today if Henley can hold on to their 13-run lead. Now stepping in is Ryan Glidden. Glidden 0 for 1 today, struck out in the first. Here's the pitch. Looked at for ball 1. I believe an off-speed pitch there. Glidden gets out in front. And talked about it earlier, but Glidden, the lone senior on this team, comprised of mostly juniors. All but 5 guys on this Pelicans roster are juniors, so continuing to grow this program. 0-1 on the way to Glidden. Here's the pitch from Hayden Poor. That is hit in the air behind second base. Pyle moving over, can't get there in time, and that'll be a base hit for Ryan Glidden in the bottom of the fourth inning. Boarded first for Maruk Morris. Ball not hit particularly hard, but just hit to the right spot in the field. The second baseman, Pyle, moved back to it. He got a glove on it, but not a routine play at all. So base hit there for Glidden. Brings up Maruk Morris, who's 0 for 1 today, grounded out back in the second inning. Takes a pitch for strike 1. Morris hitting .250 to start the year for KU. Here's the pitch. To be a cutter or a slider of some kind there from Poor. Diving away from the right-handed hitting Morris. He chased it out of the zone for strike 2. Right-hander up and throwing in the Klamath Union bullpen. Here's the 0-2. Comes in and hits Morris. He's awarded first. And for the first time today, the Pelicans have a runner in scoring position. Like I said, this is the moment the Klamath Union needs to start mounting a comeback. Don't want to leave it all up to the fifth inning to try to extend this game, but in a good position with Reese Johnson at the plate and a runner in scoring position. Also got a right-hander throwing for Henley. I believe it's Carson Pimley back there. He was taken out of the defensive order for Henley. Here's the 1-0 home. Taken for a strike. Reese Johnson, 1-1. 2 runners on, 1 out. It's Glidden at second, Morris at first. Looking at Johnson this year, batting .222, 5 RBI for him. That pitch finds the zone against Johnson, 1-2, and got to give credit to Jacoby Tacchini, the catcher on that one. Framed it up nicely for the home plate umpire and maybe stole a strike for his pitcher. Here's the 1-2 to Johnson. That one misses in, no question. 2-2 to Johnson, along with playing third base here for Pelicans baseball team, also a basketball player, and played a little bit of quarterback this year for the Pelicans football program, which I talked about a little bit earlier. Josh Overstreet, one of the assistants here for KU, the head football coach, as Johnson chases strike 3, and that will bring up Griffin Johnson. Johnson struck out in his first at-bat back in the second inning. Griffin Johnson batting .222 himself with a couple of base hits and 2 RBIs on the season so far. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 1. Modest lead off of first for Morris. No one holding him. He takes an extra step. Here's the 0-1 home to Griffin Johnson. And that one will miss high. 1-1. On deck for Klamath Union is Donovan Jones. Looking to extend this rally for the Pelicans as scored their first run. Johnson in a 2-1 count. Pitch home, swung on and missed, evens the count at 2. Johnson in danger of going down on strikes for the second time today. Here's Poor, looking in, gathers the sign from Tacchini at the plate. And the pitch. Chases the off-speed pitch. Tacchini comes up with it, throws down to first, and on the drop third strike, Johnson jogs back to the dugout. That will retire the side. No runs for the Pelicans on 1 base hit. They leave 2 stranded. They trail Henley 13-0, heading to the 5th next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Top of the 5th inning, and the Henley Hornets lead 13-0 against Klamath Union. Due up this half for the Hornets is Bo Pyle, then Corbin Hamilton, then Ian Meyer. New arm on the mound for Klamath Union is Jack Everett. Everett making his 3rd appearance of the season, although in his first 2 games only pitched 1 1/3 innings. Everett with an ERA of 31.5 at a very small sample size. Gave up 6 runs in his only outing so far. Just looking to get through this inning and try to get his team back up to bat, an opportunity to try to close the gap and extend this game. One other defensive substitution for Klamath Union. Maruk Morris goes from the mound into left field. So he'll be taking place out there. I'll just take a look here in a moment, and the final line score for Maruk Morris. We'll get that for you here in just a moment. Through 4 innings of work, gave up 10 hits, 13 runs, 1 of them earned, walked 1, and struck out 1. Now Everett's trying to take it the rest of the way. I want to give you a score update from Steens and the Henley softball team. They are playing Klamath Union in the bottom of the 5th right now. The Hornets looking to close out a 12-0 victory. One other score for Klamath Basin teams is final in Game 1 of a doubleheader today. Glendale defeated Bonanza 7-6. They'll play one more, I believe, as Everett fires in strike 1 against Bo Pyle. Cross Point Christian as well. They are leading Riddle 11-7 in their 1A, 2A league opener, their first season this year. A 1-1 count. Back in this one, again, Henley leads 13-0, and Bo Pyle at the plate. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Everett. Bounces to the plate, 2-1. So far today for Pyle, he reached on an error in the first inning. He flew out in the second and walked in the third. Still looking for his first hit of the day. Right-handed bat for Henley awaits the 2-1. That one misses wide. The count 3-1. Here's the 3-1 home to Bo. That one is taken for a strike inside. Bo was able to find that part of the plate when he was on the mound earlier today. Pitched 2 2/3, like we said earlier. But that inside pitch has gone the way of the pitcher so far today. Here's the 3-2. That one is swung on and missed. It looked like Everett came in with the changeup there and had Pyle out in front for the first out in the 5th inning. This will bring up Corbin Hamilton. Hamilton started the game in left field, now man in the first base position. So far today, he is 1 for 3 with a single and an RBI in the 3rd. Otherwise, he's grounded out and flown out. Down in the count, 0-1. Here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch in high and tight, 1-1. After Hamilton in the order, it's Ian Meyer. Here's the 1-1 home to Hamilton. Hit in foul territory behind the KU dugout. Out of play. Count a ball and 2 strikes now to Hamilton. Batting .250 here to start the year. Again, Henley 2-2-1. Lost each of their previous 2 games by just a run. Here hit weakly out to short. Safford up with it. The throw is not going to be in time, and Hamilton will reach first. Hamilton beating out the infield single there and brings up Ian Meyer. Meyer 2 for 3 today. He flew out in the first, had 2 at-bats in the 3rd inning, singled in both of them, and had an RBI as well. Oh, pardon me, this is actually going to be Hayden Poor up to the dish for Henley. So Meyer's day is complete as Poor takes strike 1. Weekly dribbled foul down the third base side. Looking at Poor this season, believe this is his first at-bat of the year in an 0-2 count. Here's the pitch, taken for a ball outside. Poor, a freshman, one of 2 freshmen on this team. And that one will miss high, 2-1. Two balls and 2 strikes to Poor. The pitch on the way from Everett is taken high for ball 3. Mesa Bravo had a little bit of trouble corralling that one behind the plate, but after an 0-2 count, Poor has worked the count full with 1 away and a runner on first. Looks like Shiv Patel is on deck for Henley. Here's the pitch. Taken for strike 3 called. Poor thinking that one was inside, and that's been called a strike all day long, and Poor set down looking. And this will bring up Shiv Patel. Patel hitting in place of Carson Pimley, who exits the game after a 1-for-3 afternoon. Pimley singled, grounded out once, and reached on an error. For Patel, this is his 3rd at-bat of the season. Still looking for his first base hit. He's down in the count 0-1. Patel fouls that one off, and it'll get out of play. Count 0-2 to Patel. On deck, it's Carson Sims. Everett looks in, gets the sign. Shakes off the catcher on his first option. Now comes set. Moves home with the 0-2 to Patel. Slow roller down the third base side. That's going to kick fair. Patel still having to run to first. He's going to get there. And a tough hop. Tough hop off the cut of the grass for Klamath Union. It was rolling foul, bounced off the cut, then rolled back fair, and that's where Everett fielded it. So Patel there on his first hit of the season will allow Hamilton to advance to second and brings up Carson Sims. Sims will take a pitch outside, 1-0. On deck for Henley, I believe, is Ryan Douglas. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Henley leading 13-0. Any extra runs here is just insurance as Henley tries to shore up a mercy rule victory. Here's the 1-0 home. Looked at for strike 1. Sims this season has been hit by a pitch twice today. Struck out once, but batting .500 to start the year. Here's the 1-1. That one hits Carson again, this time just barely getting his jersey, but that's the 3rd time he's been hit by a pitch today, and it loads the bases for Ryan Douglas. Sims on base percentage soaring as well. He's got 8 hits now. He's been hit by a pitch now 4 times this season. And again, 500 on-base percentage as this first pitch into Ryan Douglas gets away from the catcher, but nobody moving. Bases remain loaded for Douglas. So far for Ryan today, 1-for-3. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd. Error in the 3rd. Came around to score, though. And he doubled in the 4th inning. Would come around to score there as well. Pitch misses high, 2-0. At 3rd, it's Hamilton. At 2nd, it's Patel. At 1st, it's Sims. Here on the 2-0 pitch, a fly ball hit to left field. Morris hardly has to move to put that one away and end the inning. No runs for the Hornets in the 5th. They do get 2 base hits. They leave 3 stranded, and they lead 13-0. Heading to the bottom of the 5th inning as the Hornets look to close this one out next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Getting ready for the bottom of the fifth inning. The Hornets look to close this one out ahead of schedule. Right now leading 13-0. Do have a final score from Henley softball today, as they did wrap up a 12-0 win over Klamath Union. And they have got their first Skyline Conference win of the season. The baseball team looking to follow suit. It'll be Hayden Poore on the mound in his second inning of work against Donovan Jones, Luis Mesa Bravo, and Tilden Kaufman. That's 8, 9, and 1 in the order for Klamath Union. And ball one crosses the plate, just a little bit elevated out of the zone to Jones, who's 0 for 1 today. He struck out in the third inning. And here's the pitch. Taken for a strike. 1-1. We've talked about what's up next for Henley, and we'll do so again in the post-game show. But up next for Klamath Union, a home game tomorrow against Mazama. Then there'll be an action against Phoenix on Tuesday. That's on the road for the Pelicans. And a 1-2 count at the plate to Donovan Jones. Taken down and in. Out of the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Coming set is Hayden Poore. Here's the pitch. 2-2, waved at and missed. Jones goes down on strikes for the second time today. Now we'll bring up Luis Mesa Bravo. He is also 0 for 1. His lone other plate appearance came in the third inning, and he struck out there. And maybe getting another pitching change for Henley, trying to spread things out with 3 games ahead. It looks like we are going to see one more pitching change here in the fifth. We'll step aside, and when we come back, we'll get the changes for the Hornets for you. It looks like it's Carson Pimley coming in to throw. We'll get you the rest after this. Henley leads 13-0 at the bottom of the fifth inning with 1 out on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
It starts to warm up outside. It's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Kyle's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Couple of changes in for Henley in the bottom of the fifth inning, a game in which they lead Klamath Union 13-0. New man on the mound is Carson Pimley, and Pimley making his third appearance of the season. Coming into today, 6 1/3 innings pitched, and an ERA of 5.5. looking to record the final 2 outs and push his team to victory today. Other changes for Henley. Corbin Hamilton, former first baseman, will head out to right field. Ian Meyer, who's removed from the game a little bit earlier, will find his way back to first base. And Shiv Patel is out of the defensive order, comes in from right field to the bench. Infield remains the same for Henley otherwise. It's Carpenter at third, Shively at short, Pyle at second. Ryan Douglas is in left field, and Carson Sims is in center. And still Jacoby Tacchini behind the plate. And Luis Mesa Bravo is to the plate. 1 away in the inning. Give you the final line score on Hayden Poor as well. First pitch will miss outside. 1-0 from Pimley. For Poor, 1 2/3 innings pitched. 1 hit, no runs, 4 strikeouts for Poor. And a 1-1 count now to Mesa Bravo. Here's the pitch from Pimley. Check swing, yes he did, and a 1-2 count now to Mesa Bravo. And the pitch is going to hit Mesa Bravo. He's awarded first. Five times now has a batter been hit in this game. Second time for a KU player, and the lineup turns over to Tilden Kaufman. Kaufman today 1 for 1. He also walked in the first inning to go along with that single in the third. Takes the first pitch, bounces off the plate, and gets away from Tacchini. Now advancing to second is Mesa Bravo. Runner in scoring position for KU. They've got to score 4 runs this inning to extend this game. Within 9 runs is the marker. If they still trail by 10 or more at the end of this inning, it's over. Here's the 1-0 pitch home to Kaufman. Taken low and away for a ball. Count now 2-0. Kaufman's a guy you want up with runners in scoring position, leading the team in RBI at 9. A lot of those coming off the long ball in a game earlier this season against Neocani. He homered twice in 1 inning, a 3-run homer and a grand slam. We actually had Tilden on our show, Ballin' in the Basin, last night. A full podcast of that show is available right now on mybasin.com. Here's the 2-1 pitch home to him. Swings through it. Might have got a piece of it foul. 2-2. Tilden also a basketball player for KU, along with all conference awards in football this year. Here's the 2-2. He will take that one high, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kaufman. And Jack Everett on deck for KU. Here's the full count pitch to Kaufman. That will bounce to the plate. And he has walked. Tacchini keeps it in front of him, so runner remains at second, and now Jack Everett comes to bat. Everett hits in place of Nolan Baker, who struck out twice in each of his first 2 plate appearances. Ground ball to first. Meyer turns to throw to second, but the throw is off the mark. Shively has to spin away and block it like a catcher to keep it in front of him, and that will load the bases on an error, a throwing error for Meyer at first. We'll load him up for P.J. Safford. Safford, 0 for 2 today, has flown out and reached on a fielder's choice. First pitch elevated to Safford, 1-0. PJ 5 RBI on the season, batting .333. Here's the 1-0 to PJ. Takes it in for a strike, 1-1. On deck after Safford is Ryan Glidden. Safford represents the run that, if it scored, would extend this game. Here at the bases loaded and 1 out and a 1-1 count. The pitch to Safford is taken wide for a ball, 2-1. Pimley just needing to throw strikes here. Trying to wrap this one up. He's already walked one and hit a batter this inning. And the other runner aboard based off that error on the previous play at first. A 3-1 count now as another one missed low and away to Safford. Pelicans looking to score their first run. Safford can walk or get on base here. Here's the pitch from Pimley. Taken over the heart of the plate for strike 2. And a full count with 1 out and the bases loaded. See if Coach Overstreet gets a little aggressive here. And even with 1 out, if they decide to send a couple of the base runners or get an aggressive secondary lead here. Full count. Safford bounces one out towards first. Myers up with it and tosses to... And so credit Safford with an RBI as the Pelicans score their first run as Mesa Bravo crosses the plate. Kaufman advances to third. Everett the second. And now Ryan Glidden bats with 2 away and 2 in scoring position in a 13-1 ball game. Here's the pitch. Glidden takes strike 1 over the middle. Glidden, another guy, he's second on the team, now in a tie with Safford for second on the team in RBI. Glidden with 6 on the season, batting .214. Here's the pitch. That one finds the inner third, 0-2, and the Pelicans down to their final strike of the evening. Glidden 1 for 2, singled last inning, struck out in the first, trying to extend this one for his team. Pimley looking to close the door. Here's the 0-2. Pimley kicks, fires, taken high for a ball. Should this game continue, Maruk Morris on deck for the Pelicans. Set is Pimley, looking to put this one away. The 1-2 home, swung on and missed, and the Henley Hornets victorious in the Skyline Conference opener in 2025 to the tune of a 13-1 win over Klamath Union. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will read you the line score and get you squared away for the rest of the season. Wrap this one up for you. This is Henley Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports with free live video on mybasin.com. Back after this.
Parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
MyBasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Day one of the Skyline Conference season in the books as the Henley Hornets defeat the Klamath Union Pelicans 13-1. In this one for the Hornets, 13 runs on 12 hits. Henley committed one error, and they left 8 runners on base. For Klamath Union, 1 run on 2 hits. They committed 6 errors, and they left 6 runners on base. Winning pitcher in this one is Bo Pyle, worked 2 2/3 innings, and walked 1, struck out 6. In his effort, the loss today goes to Maruk Morris, worked 4 innings, 12 hits, 13 runs came across the score on him, although only 1 earned. He struck out 1 in this one. Want to tell you about the Pacific Power play of the day today, and I would have to credit it to Jacoby Tacchini in the 3rd inning, helped bust this game open. It was a 7-run 3rd inning for Henley, but Tacchini's bases clearing double and 3 RBIs will earn him the Pacific Power play of the day. Henley improving to 1-0 in Skyline Conference play, 3-2-1 overall. Klamath Union now 4-3 overall this season, 0-1 in conference play. Up next for the Pelicans is a home game tomorrow against the Mazama Vikings. That'll be played right here at Kiger Stadium. Henley also in action tomorrow, though they'll be on the road Friday and Saturday against the Dalles and Duffer Co-op on Friday night, and then Saturday afternoon against North Marion and the Gervais Co-op, and then they will be back in Skyline Conference action on Tuesday at Mazama High School. That will be our next broadcast here on MyBasin.com. Henley on the right first step to try to make it 3 straight Skyline Conference titles. We'll be with you the entire way as they try to capture that 3rd consecutive conference crown. Until then, want to thank everybody involved in today's broadcast, both head coaches for working with us before the game, Mr. Sean Teeters and Michael Overstreet from Klamath Union. Our official scorer and public address announcer here at Kiger Stadium, Mike Safford, big thanks to him as well. And also want to thank you for tagging along all evening with us for another edition of Henley Baseball. Today, it's a victory for the Hornets, 13-1 over Klamath Union. My name is Josh Eldridge. Hope you have a great rest of your Thursday night. And until next time, we'll see you soon. Saying goodnight from Kiger Stadium in Klamath Falls.